Yeah, so like, but you know, I will say this, that the chainsaws in the background are so reminiscent of what we're doing today. We are undoing what somebody has done to this wonderful cottage house by replacing the original windows. They are going through and taking out these aluminum guys that were put there, and we're gonna put back what was supposed to be there, what was there originally, and restore this house to what it could be. Yep. So like, you know, like that one's coming out, and then we've got this one over here, and behind the furniture. That one was just boarded up. We're gonna restore that one too. So that board's coming off. We're gonna put the sashes in there. You know, it's gonna be really nice. We're gonna paint it and everything. Beautiful. Come on in. Oh yeah, here we go. All right, so what Jason's doing right now is he's taking the, well, I'll show you on this one. He's taking the edge off of this right there so that when we pulled all of this molding stuff off, the paint doesn't peel around. That's pretty important, you know, because all this paint's really pretty good, and the last thing we want to do is get into a situation where we have to peel it all off. So, you know, I mean, but look at this guy. I mean, at some point in time, somebody viewed this as an upgrade, right? But what we're gonna do, that's an upgrade. So, all right.
When you're looking for houses that fit wood window makeover, what are the 3 things you look for?
Well, number one, it's got to be the right time period. So like between 1870 and 1940, somewhere in there, that's like the time period of the archetypal window that emerged with the glass industry and the trains and the steel industry. So that was the best window that was ever made. It's the most easy to work on. So, well, let's see, that's the first thing I would look for. Oh, actual wood windows, you know, because we don't work on steel windows, for example, you know. Yeah, so then the third thing is they haven't renovated the house to the point where, you know, it's just beyond recovery, because, you know, actually, you know, people flip houses, and once it's a flip, man, it's always a flip, and it takes a lot of work to bring it back to the way that it was originally, you know, because the people who are flipping houses, they often don't know, you know, what they're doing when they take a window out, you know, and put the something new back in there. And fortunately for us, this is the perfect type of project, because when they put these windows in, they, you know, they trimmed them out in such a way so that the original fabric can be saved. Like I'll show you over here. So like here, you know, this is the original frame that it's still intact, and they just covered up with moldings. You know, they smashed the pulleys, and that can be recovered. There's a slot here. That's where a window molding goes as part of the original window. The sash will slide up and down in here. So when they put the replacement windows in that we're now taking out, they didn't do so much damage that we can't put it back the way that it was, and that's pretty important. You know, that's not always the case. Sometimes the damage that people do is so severe that it's almost impossible to put it back the way that it was. But there's very few cases where we can't do that. It just turns into like a matter of, you know, budget and money and stuff like that. And that's one of the reasons why I would consider it robbery, because that people would rip out the original fabric and put cheap imitation stuff in there, because when they put it back in a way that can't be recovered, what they ended up doing is turning that house into like a, like a perpetual rental property. And rental properties, they're necessary, but they're not owned, they're not taken care of in the way that somebody would take care of it if they owned it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a perpetual downward spiral once that starts. And so to put it back the way that it was originally designed, it's pretty good. Here, they're taking this one out right now. You want to see it? Yeah, so what Sosa's doing right now is he's cutting the caulk seal all the way around it, and Jason's on the inside knocking it out as he cuts that caulk seal. That window's just gonna pop right out. So, but you can see it's just put on there superficially. It's not like they address the frame or anything like that. They just, it just sits on top. So it's not actually a replacement window. It's more like a modification. So
what would you say to somebody who looks at their windows and they go, I'm not happy with them, I'm gonna go to a home store, pick one out, and hire somebody to come put them in?
Well, I mean, honestly, that's what people have been led to believe their only option is. And really our culture has kind of lent itself that way. And like when you go to the home store, there's nothing on the shelves that will make it easy to put it back the way that it was. You have to find, a specialist like us, an actual artisan. There's actual artisans just don't really exist anymore. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so by forcing artisans out of business, they perpetuate the sale of their own products, those replacement windows. So they're really left with no option. And I think people, when they initially start a project like this, they do look for somebody like us, like Wood Window Makeover. And in the absence of being able to find somebody like us, they go to their next alternative, their next convenient alternative. And that's, at the home store, and the home store says, oh, we have the thing for you. Look at this plastic thing, and oh yeah, we can fit that in. But what they're not focused on, they're focused more on, selling the product and getting it in the house. They're not necessarily trying to solve the house problems that people have. And that's one of the things that Wood Window Makeover does, is we solve the house problems as they emerge. Like, Scott over here says, he's taken this window out here, but the original window frame, like you see it here, is not over there. And so if somebody wanted to put the windows back the way that they were, and they're doing like we do, and they start taking that apart, man, they're in trouble. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't know what to do. But us, I mean, we're all set up. I mean, we can make the parts to these windows just like that. And so there's no problem we're going to open up that we're not going to be able to solve. And that's one of the things that really sets us apart. And So houses like these, they were really made for windows like ours. And that's what gives us the opportunity to take these old windows out. And you've seen some of our processes and seen kind of like the start of it. We've got a lot to do. We've got 14 more windows to go. And you know, we're gonna turn this whole house around just by upgrading the windows to what they were, what they could be, what they should be. And so we've got the best team, not just in Tampa, not just in St. Petersburg, but in America. And you know, we're gonna really just turn this whole place around. So make sure you tune in again next week and see what the end result is. You know, give us a comment. Tell us how excited you are about seeing what the process is going to be, because we want everybody to do this. We want you to do it too. And if we can help in any way, let us know, because we have so much to give, so much to offer, and just can't wait to, you know, encourage you in doing the same thing.